All right, guys, so once again, we got to talk about Dave Chappelle because the far left activists are still protesting his comedy shows over the so-called transphobic jokes. Take a look.
The North Bay, in just a couple of hours, comedian Dave Chappelle will be taking the stage in Santa Rosa. But some members of the transgender community and allies are upset about the venue's decision to host him. He has made jokes about transgender identity.
KPX5's John Ramos on the calls to cancel his show and why the venue isn't backing down.
In his act, Dave Chappelle says he doesn't say things to be mean, he says them to be funny. Well, the transgender community doesn't see the humor in it.
I was upset, the moment I heard that he was coming to Luther Burbank and that they were hosting him, because they have very strong principles in writing of inclusion.
In his own way, Dave Chappelle is also inclusive. He includes everyone in his biting commentary. But the transgender community is furious over his recent comedy special entitled The Closer.
It was about 90 minutes long, and 60 minutes of that special was directed towards the trans community.
Orlando O'Shea and Jennifer Ryle are leaders of a group called Trans Life Sonoma. They've joined other trans advocates in demanding the Luther Burbank Center cancel the 4 Chappelle shows. But Desi Sorelli discovered it is one hot ticket.
4 sold-out shows. So
what does that tell you?
The fact that they sold out within a couple of days, very popular. A lot of people want to see them.
But that's why the activists are so opposed. They say by making fun of transgenders, Chappelle is giving license to others in society to ridicule and even physically attack what is a small minority of people. The center said when they rented the venue out to Live Nation, they didn't realize it would be for Chappelle. But in a statement they said, quote, "In the end, we determined it is not our role to censor, particularly from an organization renting our facility and one that provides diverse artists. This decision was not made lightly." Ryle says she also believes in free speech, but not if it contributes to suicide and murder within her community.
In this sense, I am not concerned about being part of cancel culture. As long as this is to help protect my community, I'll do that.
The activists say they're accomplishing something just by speaking up, whatever the outcome. Realistically, this show is going to go on.
Realistically, the show is going to go on. Yeah. I don't think my goal was ever to shut the shows down, although we came out with that angle. My role is to be a voice and to stand up and say that the community is hurting because of this.
In Santa Rosa, John Ramos, KPIX5.
Just last week, a venue in Minneapolis canceled Chappelle's sold-out show just hours before he was hit the stage. First Avenue posted on Instagram saying its team worked hard to make its venues the safest spaces in the country.
Yeah, so as you can see there, these people have not given up. They are still protesting Dave Chappelle. And I have come to a conclusion about why this is still happening, okay? I've come to this conclusion. The people that are protesting Dave Chappelle are just total losers in life, right? This is why they have the time to do this, right? This is why they have the time to go out and protest Dave Chappelle everywhere he goes, because they have nothing else going for them in life. And this article right here, right, is really going to drive home that point, okay? As there was some Anqueefa, right, which I found to be a hilarious name, Anqueefa protesters who were arrested at the Minneapolis anti-Dave Chappelle protest, okay? And they also happen to be white BLM activists, right? And this excellent article right here from Ms. Mia Cattell on townhall.com really does outline just how much of a loser some of these people are. And again, it totally explains why they have the time and why they continue to do this, right? It's because they have nothing else going for them in life whatsoever. So with that being said, I want to read about this because this is absolutely hilarious when you find out who these people are that continue to protest Dave Chappelle everywhere he goes. I mean, they made their life goal, their life purpose about protesting Dave Chappelle. We already know that these far left extremists basically got one of the venues, First Ave, to cancel Dave Chappelle's show. Okay, we already know that happened. So let's start reading down here because this is where it gets juicy and absolutely hilarious. At the Varsity Theater staging ground, a show of masked, colored-haired, and mostly white anti-fascists sought to shut down the black comic prior to showtime. One of the showgoers waiting in line was hit by an egg thrown by a streaming individual, the Star Tribune reported. According to the Daily Mail, and on stage, Chappelle mocked the outraged mob, belting a one-line zinger to his fans, quote, "I'd respect them more if there was at least one black person." Ironically, it appears a black police officer handcuffed at least 2 white anti-Chappelle protesters who've also frequented Black Lives Matter demonstrations and often championed anti-racist causes. However, there was a lone black protester detained on July 22nd, but she has been far less vocal about her BLM activism on social media than that of her white rage-tweeting counterparts. Some of those jail Karens include a morbidly obese blogger who blames her uncontrollable defecation at work on American capitalism, a Grim Reaper cosplayer, and an arson-endorsed repeat arrestee. Among the 5 protesters arrested, 35-year-old Rachel Lee Bean was taken into custody by the Minneapolis Police Department on suspicion of felony assault in the first degree and rioting. According to the Hennepin County Sheriff's Office jail roster, Bean has since been released from custody per Minnesota's 36-hour rule. Of course they were released. According to a police report obtained by Town Hall via a public records request, Bean used her hands, fists, or feet in the alleged assault, resulting in minor injury to the unnamed victim, who made a citizen's arrest. The incident was caught on a body-worn police camera donned by one of the responding officers. Only subjects in the footage are permitted to view the video. A police records specialist told Town Hall Bean's case is still active. All right, so this is Rachel Bean. Right? This is the face of the people that are protesting Dave Chappelle. Okay? This is what they look like. Can't tell if they're a boy or girl if I didn't know their name. Okay? Who knows? I mean, they may or may not be a boy or girl. Who knows? They could be non-binary. I don't know. Right? I have no clue. A black officer arrested Bean, according to a photo taken at the scene by journalist Nadia Sharari. Footage filmed by Sharari captured Bean, who was leaning on a barricade evading a spray of mace from a cop. All right, so let's take a look at this. Yeah, so I think this is her right here, right? I think this is her out here, okay? Yeah, she heavy, okay? She heavy. She out here in these streets, okay? Bean, who asserts that she is living on, quote, stolen Dakota land in the Twin Cities, is a self-described white, fat, disabled queer. The leftist activist claims she became incapacitated by a long COVID, which refers to a case of persisting COVID-19 symptoms in the weeks or months after a patient first contacted the coronavirus. In January 2021, Medium post titled, quote, "I ish my pants at work," Bean dedicated an entire and rather candid article to chronicling her detailed tale of workplace inconvenience and survival, all while dealing with long COVID under capitalism. The Dairy-like entry narrates how Bean became disabled by the productivity demands of this capitalistic hellscape world. She is no stranger to ailments, though. "I have known the ways of chronic illness and been disabled adjacent for big parts of my life," Bean typed on Medium, listing afflictions that have plagued her, including Hashimoto's thyroiditis, Epstein-Barr, malaria, tuberculosis, depression, and chronic fatigue. Bean disclosed that she then filed a short-term disability claim to take some time off of work. Again, these people are professional victims, okay? She got every illness in the book, okay? She's dealing with every illness in the book. However, she's not disabled enough to not be out here in the streets protesting over Dave Chappelle, right? You're so disabled that you can't work, but not disabled enough not to be out here protesting Dave Chappelle. Again, absolutely amazing. On her personal blog, Bean divulged that she was denied disability benefits because her former employer cited her diagnosis of morbid obesity as an invalid reason. There, she also discussed transphobia, how the medical establishment will always weaponize your fatness against you, and the insidious nature of diet culture. Nevertheless, the overweight and unemployed blogger complained about food shortages, blaming, quote, the overfed mouths of the middle and upper classes, remarking perhaps there would be enough for everyone. Bean's journal-styled website also raved about disability justice as well as how ableism fortifies and is fortified by white supremacy, settler colonialism, capitalism, heteropatriarchy, and other systems of oppression. Wow. Yeah, maybe there would be more food for everybody if she wasn't stuffing her face, right? If you wasn't stuffing your face, because it looks like your mouth has been overfed by definition, okay? Because the only way you become morbidly obese is by overfeeding your mouth. So obviously there's not a food shortage where you are, right? You're not experiencing no food shortage, right? Since raising a whopping $12,000 plus, Bean has created, quote, a hardship fund to beg for online donations to support her while she's been without income for months. This spring, Bean launched an anniversary fundraiser to commemorate her long COVID condition, turning 2 years old. On the crowdfunding site, Bean revealed she's been unemployed since September, but is pleading for others to pay her rent. Wow. Again, this is the game here, guys. Victim, right? Victim. I'm a victim. You know, I got long COVID. Please send me some money. I need money. Please. I don't want to work a real job. I don't want to do anything with my life but complain and protest people like Dave Chappelle. Total loser, right? Total loser, okay? So quickly here, I want to show some photos of some of the other activists, not just her, that got arrested, okay? During the Dave Chappelle protest. Now, she got arrested for suspicion of assault and riot, right? Again, you know, she pooped her pants, okay, at work, okay? Yeah, this is the people we're dealing with here. This guy right here, Michael Robert Maidman, was arrested at the far-left anti-Dave Chappelle direct action on suspicion of fourth-degree assault, fleeing a police officer on foot and rioting on January 22nd. His $6,000 bail was quickly recovered. Yeah, you know, it's funny how these people claim to be against violence, okay? And they always talk about violence coming from white supremacists, okay? But yet, they're the first people to be violent when they don't get their way. Antifa activist Natalia Shizo Slaughter, Natalie Marie Slaughter, has been charged with vandalism over her alleged role at the anti-Dave Chappelle direct action in Minneapolis. Wow, again, total loser. Far-left activist Sheridan Ann Lair has been charged with vandalism. Here's the one black person, I believe, the one black person that was arrested. Rosemary Julia Coburn was arrested on probable cause charges of obstructing legal process, fleeing a law enforcement officer, and rioting at the anti-Dave Chappelle direct action in Minneapolis on July 22nd. So, yeah, guys, as you can see here, this is the Anqueefa Five, right? The Anqueefa Five, okay, that were arrested during the Dave Chappelle protest, and they are total losers in life, okay? That is exactly who is making up a lot of these people that are continuing to protest in places like Minneapolis over Dave Chappelle, or even in places like Portland, Oregon, okay, where they are still upset, right, about something. We don't know what it is, but they're upset about something, even though they live in a left-wing city. Again, it's because they're losers, and this is how they find purpose in life. Again, it's sad, man. It really is sad, because all it takes is a little hard work to be successful in this country, right? But these people are so bad, they're so terrible at life, that this is what they resort to instead of actually getting a real job, okay, and making something out of themselves. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.